yet, probably.
Titles are changed.
Yeah, they are changed.
I've updated them. I'm not streaming, so or else we would.
I'm too busy uploading a file. So
a very important file about me completing a bunch of bullshit
into our Slack channel.
We should be live on Twitch now.
We are live on Twitch.
Okay.
Hello, Twitch.
I'm still using.
Hello, Twitch.
I'm still using the whatchamacallit.
Hello, Twitch.
The evil snowman that is not from any kind of series.
No, not at all.
No.
So hey Dale, guess what game I started playing recently?
Series.
Magikarp Jump.
Nope, Wolfenstein. You know what you're doing, Wolfenstein?
No!
I love you, Dale. I love you. Dale.
Where is it? Where is it? I lost it.
Love you, Dale. I'm not. Now it's a button that I'm gonna push, and not in a serious way.
It's fine.
Yeah, guess what other game? I whipped out my old PlayStation 1 and I started playing Blood Rain again. Guess what you do on Blood Rain? Because it's shonen bullshit. Because
Oh my god. No, I'm playing back. You guys can't hear it, but the stream can hear it. Oh my god. What the hell?
Okay.
Wait, are you clipping
because it's shonen bullshit.
That's going on the soundboard. Please put that on.
It already is.
I'm not putting it on mine.
Can someone check the audio levels on the stream?
Hang on, that's what I was doing before
because it's shonen bullshit.
Yes.
I'm not putting it on mine.
Yeah, the stream's fine.
We're fine.
What are you going to put on yours? You're going to put something on your something?
Because it's shonen bullshit.
For context, ladies and gentlemen, that's a line that CJ said in our pre-show.
We should, oh wait, not you, Siri. No one's talking to you.
Fuck off, Siri.
I'm so glad I wear headphones there. Yeah, fuck off, Siri.
New show, shonen bullshit, where we just find like the most...
We just it's S4 but just for shonen, so small screen shonen show. So we watch Bort, we watch Dragon Ball Super, we watch Black Clover and hate ourselves.
What's it? Oh.
It's shown in BS. We can't name something. Yeah, I suppose we could.
Whatchamacallit? One Piece, what else?
No. Death Note. No.
Death Note's not shonen. Death Note is definitely not shonen anime.
No.
My Hero.
That's Black Clover.
I want to watch the Portuguese dub of My Hero Academia.
The Portuguese dub. No,
it's a thing. It's a thing.
What was it? There was something.
There a very notorious bad dub of Dragon Ball Z?
If by bad you mean fucking amazing, yes.
We watched the Chilean version of The Office. It's amazing.
No, like the Portuguese dub of Dragon Ball Z. Basically, the TV company didn't want them playing like all the violence and stuff like that. So they're like, but we need to have violence because it's an anime where people punch each other. So what if we make it comedy based? So like there's this one part where one of the characters rams into another one because I was about to start saying names and I realized that Dale would start glazing over. One of the characters rams into another one and the guy who gets rammed into it just goes, oh.
Wait, really?
Yes! Dodoria, it's on Namek. Dodoria runs into like the Elder Namekian there, and the Elder Namekian looks like he's dancing and just goes, oh, when Dodoria hits him. And Dodoria is just going, oh.
Oh my god.
I need to watch this. I need to do my life.
Can we please do a Geek IO watches of this?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see if we can. I'm gonna look to see if like we can find one of the movies that's dubbed in it and like watch that for a Geek IO watches of it. Just
Tree of Might.
Oh my god, Tree of Might.
Tree of Might.
Broly, because his name isn't Kakarot in the Portuguese. It's like Kelfkalate or something like that. Because Kakaroto, they complained didn't mean anything in Portuguese. So they're like, we're just gonna rename this character. Is that okay?
The Dragon Ball Z movies that I remember was Tree of Might, Garlic Jr.
Garlic Jr. They showed a video of that. I've seen a video of that. Like Garlic Jr. has this really deep voice even in his gremlin form.
and World's Strongest. Those are the only. Well, I've seen the other ones, but like those three.
Those are the only ones that actually make a impact. Like my first interaction with Dragon Ball. My first interaction with Dragon Ball Z, because I watched Dragon Ball because it was on Saturday mornings on the Fox affiliate. My first interaction with Dragon Ball Z was a friend of mine got the first Broly movie subbed. I'm sure through totally legal methods, because we were cheap middle schooler. We were poor middle schoolers, so I'm sure it was completely through legal methods. So like I watched that, and that made such an impact on me. Like, but then again, I was 13, so Broly was the greatest thing ever.
Broly power maximum.
Guess what movie is getting an early release this evening?
Disaster Artist?
Yes, I got some friends of mine that are
nice.
already
Okay, so that movie is going to be good, right?
I think it will. I think it's going to be good in the sense that the room is good. Like,
it's got like 90. Sorry.
Yeah, but then again,
it's going to be a thing.
Yeah, it has Oscar buzz written. Like, it has some Oscar buzz going around it. So, like,
it's 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm so concerned and elated that this movie is a thing, and I cannot wait for my next Movie Pass movie to be that one.
The trailer actually looks pretty good.
Yeah,
it got bumped, so I'm a bit devo.
So, Josh, Carrie, you guys gonna sign up for Movie Pass? Since apparently I'm a shill for Movie Pass and not getting paid to do it.
It's pretty damn tempting,
Pass.
I will admit. I don't know if we see enough movies.
Hi. Tampa Bay Circle Jerk, guys. We got this.
The thing I don't like is having to be a certain radius to the theater, because we are the people who will buy movie tickets 10 hours in advance to get the seats we want.
True.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, that is nice, but I mean, that's just a recent thing here. So, like, I'm so used to just kind of getting what's available anyway. That I don't know.
We got spoiled on it pretty quick, was the thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because I mean,
the option to reserve seats became a thing.
It came in like a wrecking ball.
Hard.
Where did that even come from?
Oh, wait.
Out west. Like, that's a Californian thing, and then kind of slowly made its way east. Like, that was
California's progressive?
Exactly. It was California. It was hipster areas. So, your San Francisco, your Seattles, your Portlands, and then it just kind of slowly started making its way through more like hipster areas, and now eventually it finally hit the East Coast.
So,
I wonder
any movie, anytime, matinee, midnight showing, whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, as long as it is not sold out, and I just have to show up at a theater and say on my app, and you saw me do it. I just hit a button, and they're like, "Okay, now your card is ready to go."
I wonder if that's an IMAX thing, by the way, for reserve seating, because I know that was
not here.
No, Alamo Draft House is reserved seating.
VMAX rather. Sorry, not IMAX. VMAX.
Whatchamacallit?
VMAX?
Palladium.
No, it's
which is
6.
Cinemark,
Yeah.
right? I think it's Cinemark, and AMC has reserved seating.
Everybody say hi to Taco Lady.
Hi, Taco
Hi,
Lady! She has a computer now. She's
My wife
she do.
has a computer.
So now she's gonna buy Overwatch. I have a new duckling.
I haven't sat down and played Overwatch in a while because of
I
Mario Odyssey. But
played it. I played it when I heard Mora dropped. I played quite a bit of it when she dropped. She's definitely okay.
And now I'm still not gonna play it because I'm going to be playing Xenoblade Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not. It's the fancy. Oops! I accidentally spoiled a Christmas present. I'm like, hey Rachel, I can get this for like $12 off on Amazon. Don't you fucking dare! Okay.
Yeah, when you told me that on Slack, I'm like, yeah, that's why.
Yeah, like the accidental ruining of a Christmas present because I'm like, hey, I want this thing. I'm gonna get it. Okay.
That's the problem. I'm like
There's a
that too.
problem as an adult. Like,
Yeah.
exactly. Like as an adult, like, and especially now that I'm working again and things like that, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna get this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, I got you this. I'm an adult. I just bought it when I saw it.
Yeah.
Josh found himself a Christmas present because he was like, "This thing is awesome. I'm going to buy it for myself." And I basically just made a face at him.
Aw.
It's December.
It's almost Christmas.
Yeah, you shouldn't buy things.
Dell, you recording video?
I will be when we go
Okay.
into the show. So
All
it's easier for me to
Were you recording video last week?
We didn't have a show.
No.
You mean
before?
a week before? I was.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, Dale
Yes,
was here on the
recording
channel.
all of the shows.
I was here on the channel, but
He didn't miss a second of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Yeah.
It was generic live Thanksgiving, and it was just a live feed of Dale's background.
Exactly. Nothing else. Sure, that's better than what actually happened. So let's go with that.
What happened? Like,
My computer melted down twice.
oh jeez.
Ooh, twice?
So thusly Dale melted down.
Dale melted down. A deconstructed Dale.
Raul was apparently very quiet.
Apparently, that's what people are
Well,
saying.
I mean, I'm normally very quiet, but
I call bullshit.
What do you mean?
Your audio levels.
Your audio levels are quiet. Did I know?
I have slept with you in the same room as you.
Whoa.
wait,
Whoa.
Freudian slip there, CJ.
do I snore?
No.
No, I snore though. So
Oh yeah,
that's,
Dale snored.
I'm
Dale
fully
snored.
aware of that.
Well, admittedly, it was only when you were jet lagged and I made you go to Disney, quote unquote, made you go to Disney that you snored. Like,
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so
You twisted my arm so hard to go to Disney Island. So hard.
so hard that you spent. What was it? I think you accidentally bought the platinum pass, didn't you? So you could have went to Disneyland last year too.
To be fair, I did get all the marathon photos that were taken of me for free.
Yes,
could've
we
done
did,
with it.
Jazz. We did share a bed.
Yes. So it's gonna be, Dragon Con's going to be full of shenanigans this year too, because like, I mean, the five of us in this chat right now, in this room right now, are going to be in a room.
in the Marriott.
In the Marriott. Thankfully, the rooms are
Marriott.
good size. Like,
Marriott.
just
Oh,
like I didn't realize how big the Marriott rooms were, and
huge.
yeah, I could have easily fit you two on an air mattress anywhere in that room, and it wouldn't have been like any big deal.
And we've got the air mattress, so
There you go.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
Air mattresses, plural.
by the way, I am bringing an air mattress this year. Or-
probably a good idea. I was wondering when you were going to remember to do that.
Well, because okay,
we were going to bring ours. Like, admittedly, we were going to bring ours, but with everything going on and us bringing the kids, we just completely ran off without
Yeah,
it.
I think
well,
we just
kids are
missed
involved.
it
Completely
because
understandable.
Yeah, kids and Dale and like everything and like every kind of like all the normal issues that go with planning a road
Kids
trip, and
and
especially
kids.
with Dragon Con.
And bigger kids.
Yeah. Like
It's-
Dragon Con is such a major thing for me that like compounded with Dale kind of freaking out because it's his first real convention and like the kids
Aw.
freaking out and melting down. Like you were absolutely melting down.
it was, yeah,
It was magical. It really was magical.
not magical. It was magical for everyone who wasn't called Dale.
You weren't called Dale half the time you were there. So
I wasn't called Dale with like anyone
I
there.
don't think you were called Dale at all. Like when you were here.
What
What
is
did
it?
they call you?
Oh my god! I think I have
Dan, Daniel, David, I think was once like
David Dial. That was
Dial.
close.
Yeah,
Dial?
at least they all
Dial.
started
Taco
with D,
Dial.
right? At least they all started
Hi,
with the
Dale. Good on you, mate.
No,
Good
I was
idea,
imagining,
Dial.
I'm imagining Dial spelled like Kyle with a D, and it's like your dude bro alter ego.
I think it was actually.
I think it was. I think it was, but like I thought she was just kind of making fun of him when she's like, he said she asked him for his name. He's like Dale, but in his funny Kiwi accent.
He is not a Kiwi, sir.
How to offend 3 people at once. Currently listening.
Right.
But like he says, says his name, and the woman's like, Dial, and I'm like, is she really trying to make fun of him right now? Like, is this customer service person making fun of him? And
she was so flirting with me though too.
Oh yeah, but like it comes out with Dial on the thing, written on the things. I'm like, she was big serious.
Wait, where was this at?
This was at Zaxby's, I think.
Zaxby's, yeah. No. This was at that juice place that we went to. When I went
right.
I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, that's the one.
So we just delayed from having to talk about this movie.
David.
At this point,
I was about to say it's 10:19 now.
At this point, we've pretty much come to the conclusion that the pre-show happens at 10 o'clock, and we just kind of start rolling into the show whenever. So I guess with that indirect hint, we'll go ahead and start the show proper.
Hang on, you mean
Pre-show text. Pre-show text. Pre-show text.
Yeah, Raul, take care of that while I'm putting up the soundboard.
Yeah, I took care of it before Carrie brought it up.
All right, so 3
This time.
2, 1.
You are listening to a podcast of the Geek IO Media Network. For all of our shows and more, visit geek-io.net. And to help support the network, head over to patreon.com/geekio.
Hello, gentle listener. While Geek holds its talent to the highest standards,
Classic.
what follows will likely involve the sort of language usually reserved for sailors. If you're of a delicate disposition, then perhaps you would consider a different podcast.
Congratulations, Rachel, on 100% on our midterm.
Woo!
She's still patrolling the skies. Wonder Woman? Come in, Wonder Woman.
I'm already on top of it, Batman.
Oh my.
Still, everything in its path will be swept away. I've got to stop that from happening.
Robin, Aquaman, Superman, to the Batmobile. This is a job for all of us.
This is the Geek IO Rant and Review with your hosts, CJ, Rachel, Raul, Gary, Josh, Jared, and everyone's favorite Aussie, Dale Campbell. This week, I hope you've got a stiff upper lip, as we're talking about Justice League.
Show's over.
Jared has to be there, ladies and gentlemen.
Have a good night,
Jasmine.
everybody. Bye.
Jazz, you are a genius.
Where's my hat? There's my hat. All right, we can end the show now. Toodles. See you next week.
Oh, yes. You glorious bastard.
Beautiful.
I fucking love you.
You take that bow.
Yes. Oh.
Show's over. Cancelled.
Oh man. Hi guys. It's the Geek IO Show, episode number 222. Your podcaster playground, and where we're talking about today. Well, I shouldn't drink before I try to do introductions. This is our rant review of Justice League. Of course, I'm your host, CJ. My lower half of my face is Woody from Toy Story Boat.
I'm Raul. Are you sure this will work, Garza?
I'm trying to figure out which window I am. I'm Dale. This movie should have been called 3 Bad Beginnings and a Resurrection Campbell.
I'm Carrie Themisirin, archery relay champion Wilcox.
And I'm Robatman.
Oh.
Josh.
All right. So, yep, we're talking Justice League, you guys. And of course, the movie just came out, so it's only available in theaters right now.
Clearly.
Yep. Fueled by his restored faith in humanity and inspired by Superman's selfless acts, Bruce Wayne enlists the help of his newfound ally Diana Prince to face an even greater enemy. Together, Batman and Wonder Woman work very quickly, to find and recruit a team of metahumans to stand against the newly awakened threats. Yep, came out on November 17th this year. Of course, we got the Bat flick back. Ben Affleck is Batman / Bruce Wayne. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Diana Prince, Ezra Miller as Flash Barry Allen, Jason Momoa as Aquaman / Arthur Curry, and Ray Fisher as Cyborg / Victor Stone, and nobody else. And not a single person who died in a previous movie coming back to life.
No. No.
So,
for a second. Was there anyone who came back from the dead in this movie?
Nope. Because half of his face was still dead. It still counts.
Half of his face was still dead.
And I'm not talking about Cyborg. So we got some pretty interesting trivia here. Extensive reshoots in London and Los Angeles in mid 2017 added a cost of approximately $25 million to the film's budget. Henry Cavill worked on the reshoots in MI6 Mission Impossible 2018 at the same time. He had to sport a mustache for his role in the latter project, however. Paramount refused to let the actor shave it off for the time that he played Superman again. This meant that Cavill's facial hair had to be digitally removed in post-production. Very poorly.
Very terribly.
Very poorly.
Very poorly.
They could have just made a fake mustache.
Josh elbowed me because I was laughing too hard at a part that wasn't supposed to be laughing at.
I know. I did it. Yeah.
Which is funny because I was laughing at that part for a completely different reason.
Wait. Which part were you laughing at?
The Smallville part.
Smallville part.
Yeah.
When they're in the paddock.
Bruce Wayne has been operating for 20 years and the movie takes place. Matches the 20th anniversary of Batman and Robin. So canonically speaking, George Clooney is the canonical Batman.
So Batman and Robin is the Mr. Freeze one, right?
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Cool body.
Cool body.
I love Arnold Schwarzenegger in that role.
We rewatched that a couple of years ago now for a rant review just because we wanted to watch something ridiculous and like it holds up in its stupidity. Yes. It holds up in its stupidity. Like it's so bad it's good.
Well, that's the thing is you don't watch it to watch a serious Batman movie. You watch it for the camp.
Yes, and you get so much of it.
Like to make it any campier, they would have needed Adam West.
Yep.
Or an actual tent.
To be fair, like
well done.
I think we've seen that, except for in very specific circumstances, a serious Batman movie is in fact an oxymoron.
Yeah.
I think as Jason Momoa lampooned over and over again.
Dressed as a bat.
Dressed like a bat. I dig it.
Jason Momoa was amazing in this movie.
Oh yeah. My alternative title was going to be How to Make Aquaman Cool. You turn him into Wolverine. No, he's Wolverine. He is absolutely Wolverine. He is 100% Wolverine.
I was going to say he's Wolverine with a drinking problem, but then I realized
he's Wolverine.
He's like Surfer Bro Wolverine though, because he smiles. Like he actually smiles.
Yeah, he does.
I can say that. He smiles.
The movie was originally going to be split into two parts. Thank fuck. Justice League Part 1 and Part 2 with an alleged singular continuing storyline.
You know why they were going to do that?
Marketing.
Oh no! I could have sworn it's right on the back of my hand.
Oh, the back of your hand,
like a set of gems or something, just sparkling there.
It's on the back of my hand. Yeah.
On other news, go watch the Infinity War trailer.
Right, it's so good.
Oh, we're not getting to there yet.
But by time
there was an idea.
Yes. But by time filming, the idea of the film being in two parts seemed to have quietly gone away, and now it is rumored to be two self-contained movies with two separate, related but separate plots. Spoiler alert: they mentioned his name once. What's going to be the next Justice League movie? And this film is being released on the same day the Justice League animated series first aired 16 years earlier.
Which is amazing. The Justice League animated series.
Oh, yeah. And this is the fifth movie in the DCEU and the shortest.
Somehow.
And yet, the most enjoyable.
Yes.
The second most enjoyable.
Oh.
Let's say one of the movies in the DCEU should be given some kind of rewards this year, and it's not just
the problem. The problem is the reason that slip happened is I can't even stop and think of Wonder Woman as a DC movie. It's so good.
I think I can't remember where I saw this, but like, I don't like the ideas that Wonder Woman is teaching our kids. What's that? That a woman can be strong and powerful? No, that DC can make good movies.
It takes a woman to make things go the right
Hello,
way.
Rachel!
Hey, it's a Rachel!
Congrats, Rachel.
Congratulations, by the way, Rachel.
I've got one more test. I'm not doing it tonight.
Do it.
No.
So yeah, we were about to get into quotes.
I'll be Barry Allen.
Barry Allen, Bruce Wayne.
So I should probably pull stuff up, right?
Probably. Check this out.
You said
You're
like it
fine.
explains why there's a total stranger sitting in the dark in my second favorite chair.
I wonder if the first one was sticky.
Ew. Ew. Gross.
Josh is Wonder Woman because I'm not gendering people.
No.
Gone from mourning for your parents.
You're one to talk. You ran away for 100 years because your boyfriend died.
What?
I have never heard
No,
so
I
many
don't
people
already.
boo at a line in a movie theater in my life.
Because you don't treat Diana Prince like that.
No, you do
No.
not.
No.
We just cheered when she bitch slapped him into that stack of crepes.
Yup.
So good.
I love that though.
Dale's Lois Lane, and Carrie's Clark Kent.
Oh. I wish you could stay a little longer.
Because I knew I was going to get that voice.
I'm sorry, I can't pitch myself down. Why?
Oh. It's alright, we could be a lady couple. Because now I have to send you away.
Bruce.
He needs you.
I guess I owe him one.
Just one.
Just one.
Just one.
Oh, man.
It's really cool you guys seem ready to do battle and stuff, but I've never done battle. I've just pushed some people and run away.
Save one.
What?
Save
One person.
And then?
Then you'll know.
42?
I have to say that was probably my favorite scene where Flash is just like, there's bugs. There's bugs.
Flash
I like
makes
bugs.
this movie. Like, he genuinely makes this movie.
He's the heart of the piece is the thing.
He really is. He is the reason why Indian kid on Captain Planet actually made a difference. Like,
Actually, I will say this. This movie does actually make me want to go back and watch The Flash, to be honest.
the CW Flash is so fucking good.
I think I need to start at the CW Flash, because I think
You
I
should.
watched...
Yes,
The
don't
first
worry about Arrow. Just watch Flash. Flash and Legends of Tomorrow, because Flash is really legitimately good, and Legends of Tomorrow is that campy weirdness that you want.
Well, didn't
Yeah.
they just do
Here's a thought for you, Dale.
a crazy like crisis on two Earths?
Crisis on Earth X, where like 5 different Earths, including the one where the Nazis won. Dale.
Spoilers.
Hang on, no, I've got a clip. I've got a retort. I was about to play the outro again, but that would be a bad thing. I've got a retort.
Because it's shonen bullshit.
I've got my retort.
Oh. Love you, Dale,
Still
so
my
much.
favorite line ever.
Because it's shonen bullshit.
That's still my favorite line ever.
That is like tailor made to go into a soundboard.
CJ Boat, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm just kidding. CJ's got Rachel's got a thought for me.
I like Flash. I like Flash. And you know me. I'm very hit and miss with a lot of things, but Flash actually makes me happy. It doesn't hurt that there's a certain actor in there that, yeah.
S.E.L. Martin.
God. Delish.
Flash was really good because he was like that eager, like rookie, like yeah, let's do this.
He was the
their
Spider-Man.
He's their attempt at Tom Holland Spider-Man.
And it worked. It worked.
It does. Well. It works well. I like him as the young. I don't know what. Like the fact that twice in the movie he trips over his own feet.
Yeah. And
this is the Flash we're talking
out on it. Like
now, okay. Now
Superman looks at him and he's like, got that look of, oh shit. I'm fucked.
I'm confused.
This is gonna hurt.
I'm confused on whether the.
I've got this. I can do this. I'm dead.
Oh fuck.
Now, I'm confused on whether the Flash, them showing Flash tripping over his own feet is intentional or unintentional in this movie. Like, I'm a little conflicted.
He is not even fully sure of his own powers, and especially not pushing himself to a point where he has to fight against Superman. And they even called it like they poked at it with the I know gorilla sign language. Get it because one of his
Gorilla Grodd,
who is an intelligent gorilla. So like they pointed out the fact that he's barely had to run. He just pushes people and runs away at not even top speed. He had to push himself beyond top speed and then trips over himself because he doesn't know how to work those kind of powers at that level. It's brilliant. It's character development. Like.
Which DC badly needs.
Yes.
Which we know whose fault it is to develop characters, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this movie did get split in between two directors because Zack Snyder, his daughter, passed away.
Which sucks.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Like, sorry for his loss. Absolutely. And he stepped away from this and pretty much everything else to grieve because he had dove so far into work, he never actually had the opportunity to grieve. So we have this little unknown director who's dealing with this little unknown property here in the DCEU here coming up shortly, named Joss Whedon doing Batgirl soon.
Never heard of him.
Never ever heard of him. Yeah, it's some indie director that they pulled out of Trauma Films or something.
You're right, Trauma Films.
Get it, James Gunn's from doing.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Explain the joke now.
That works.
So Joss Whedon took over because, well, I'm guessing he was just pretty much the only one who wasn't actively working and it was on Warner Brothers' lot. They're like, you know how to do things? Come here.
And he knows how to write a ensemble cast.
Yes.
With very big names. With just not
because he kind of directed this little indie film a couple of years ago called The Revengers or something.
Wait,
the Revengers.
He directed Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron.
He directed the Avengers correctly.
Revengers. There are a bunch of dogs running around, if memory serves. It's like Airbud.
Yeah, he directed the Retrievers, where one of them was a basketball playing one was a football playing one was a
volleyball playing one.
The second one, he had to fight the studio for the second one.
Yeah, I know. But so, like, pretty much the major storyline stuff happened under Zack Snyder's care. And then reshoots took over for the character development because I'm guessing Joss Whedon watched the movie and probably laughed his ass off his chair. Not in a, hey, this is funny kind of way.
Right. In the, we need to put a stake through this thing's heart kind of way.
Yeah. Like DC probably cannot afford another Batman versus Superman at this point, especially coming off the heels of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but like each main character actually had character development.
Yeah. Even freaking Batman, like.
By the way, The Retrievers is an actual movie. By the way,
now I'm sad. I just wanted to create like the superhero team of all of the Air Bud movies and have them.
It sounds like
there
that.
There is unfortunately a movie, and it's called Super Buddies.
What?
Yep.
God,
that's a thing.
How about the Pawvengers?
That's good. The Pawvengers, and you can do totally not Airbud characters.
Hey Rachel, we already have two of them. We have Bark Widow and Dogpool.
They need to have those little like hats, like Captain America had on, the Iron Man had, all the different.
No, seriously. One of our dear friends, her two dogs are named Wade Dogpool and Natasha Bark Widow.
Yeah. She was just calling her Natasha Black Widow. I go, no, Amber Bark Widow. And she's like, that is brilliant. So Great Lake Avengers. Yes. We need a movie about the Great Lakes Avengers and of course the West Coast Avengers.
So what movie are we talking about again?
Unfortunately, just
All right, so top half of the show, we get to do what my favorite part is and talk shit about the production quality.
Okay,
because, wait. I have one thing to say. Raul, your green screen is better.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm fairly sure we saw a better green screen. Like, yeah, Raul's green screen's better and shit. My green screen's better, and I don't have one.
We saw a better green screen in Spawn.
Yes, exactly.
Cape.
Okay. We saw this movie. I saw it for the second time with CJ and Rachel and the kids at Alamo Draft House.
Yes.
They had a pre-roll of all the DC shows.
Yes.
All the OG like Adam West and before.
Then we saw this amazing made-for-TV movie that was only in Britain about the Justice Society of America, and I need to find a copy of it. It looks so brilliantly bad.
And the Mexican Batman?
Yes, the Mexican Batman is great too.
Wait, what?
Okay, there was a Mexican Batman that busted two other people that were dressed as Batman and Robin that were robbing people.
Were they also Mexican?
Yes.
Yes. This is Batman in Mexico. Batman 66 pretty much. They're like, we don't want to just dub it, we're going to make it our own. But so
I'm not even making that joke. Pass.
This movie just
okay. Suicide Squad called it once.
It suffered so much, like, of rushed CG. A lot of it, like, so much CG just felt like it was being thrust in at the last moment. Like
Cyborg.
Yeah.
Okay, I was fine with his body being CG. Okay, yes, you can get away with that, but make it a little bit better. Hell, Iron Man CG looks better.
Yeah.
His Cyborg's face. Why did you
looks
need to
plastic?
Yes, it looked completely fake. And why couldn't you have just done like the patch, the green patches to cover up the actor's face, right?
Yeah.
And actually have a real actor there.
Yeah, well, there's that, but also, like, aren't there little, like, I know there's green screens, but I think aren't there little, like, green spots that you can do?
That's what I'm saying.
Like green patches. Yeah.
Like, instead of, like, the whole face just green, painted green, because that's pretty much what they did.
Right.
But, like, just have, like, the green patch for the eye and, like, the chin.
Yeah, it looked like they CG'd his entire body to be Cyborg and then superimposed freaking the actor's face over that CG. Like, that's what it looked like they did.
They didn't do it well either.
No, they didn't. And if that's what they did, shame on you.
That is legitimately what they did, and you know that's what they did. Why did you
even need to have that actor there? Just get his voice if you were going to do that.
Then you'd be dealing with Grid and not Cyborg.
Hashtag DC jokes.
Yep.
Can we talk about the explosions when Batman is driving around luring the bugs out?
Do we have to?
Please don't. No.
Do we have to?
Because
do we have to talk about this movie? Really? Okay.
Because that and the sequence I'm mentioning in chat right now, but the sequence where Jason Momoa / Aquaman, because I'm sorry, I just think Jason Momoa when I see him, no matter who he's playing.
Yeah.
Where he is in the sky fighting the bug things, and I was so excited to see that scene. Right, like I want to see Jason Momoa as Aquaman kicking ass, and it looked like that was shot with Raul's sheet and a $20 webcam.
You're being generous.
Everything looks better with a fisheye lens, and it goes womp.
My laptop webcam does better video production than whatever the hell that was.
Yeah,
I think my personal egregious CG was in the post-resurrection fight with Superman.
Mm-hmm.
When they're at the memorial site and whatever it is, and there's the tug of war going on between Wonder Woman and Superman. The entire city around them is CG.
Yep.
Why does it need to be CG?
Why does this surprise any of us?
Was Superman full CG when he popped out?
He had to have been. No,
I think it was just his face. I honestly think that they just CG'd his face. Okay, so Henry Cavill is an incredibly attractive man.
Sorry, before we get to that, because I can spend 20 hours on that. Like, how did they blast him? How did they blast him like out off the ground into outer space? How do they do that? Just a jetpack, or
what do you mean?
To get him off the ground?
Wires?
He, like, up.
Yeah, that's all wire work.
Yeah, that's all wire work. Yeah, absolutely.
But again, that could have been done on location instead of staging an entire city in green screen.
Yes.
My point was, I didn't know if it was like an effect or something because it just looked so janky, and it didn't need to.
Also, was anybody else distracted by how fucking shiny Superman's suit was?
Yes.
No. Okay. All right.
To be fair,
this movie is 110 minutes of we're sorry about Batman versus Superman, you guys. We are so sorry about Batman versus Superman.
Here's color. Here's character development.
CJ, there is one more thing in there. Oh, technically two.
Yeah.
If we give you enough half-naked Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot, will you forgive us for Batman and Superman?
No. Yes.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that.
Watching that man run around shirtless, I will forgive them for just about anything.
However, let's get on Gal Gadot for a second.
Yes, please.
So
not in the Wonder way. Not
in a perverted way, because she was fucking sexier in Wonder Woman when they just let her be strong and sexy. Like, you do not need gratuitous butt shots. You do not need gratuitous tit shots because she is a gorgeous woman and you don't need that.
The fact that the skirt was skimpier in Justice League, it didn't cover nearly as much. The camera was constantly at her backside.
Yep.
The fact that they had to go back and CG on some armor onto the fucking Amazons.
Yep. Yeah, they had to increase.
Well, don't you know that's the difference between a male director and a female director?
Yep.
The
and
female
costume
director
designer.
said, you know what? Yes, we realize these can all be sex symbols. However, strong is sexy too. This is what we're going for, because this is what the Amazons are legitimately known for. They are strong, intelligent, well learned, well educated with a sword or a weapon of their choice. Women who took no shit.
I want to hop on. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, just like being strong and like how they were in Wonder Woman, right? Where it's slow-mos with them being awesome. That's them being sexy on their own terms.
Yep.
Also, the butt shots are them being sexy in straight male gaze.
Yeah. And like, okay, so like
look,
Black Widow
can have a boner.
Black Widow, I can kind of understand because she is an assassin, and regardless of the way, and she uses her looks and stuff like that in a lot of ways.
It's a tool to her.
Yeah, it is a tool. So having butt shots of her is a little bit more understandable than with what they did with Wonder Woman in this one.
Let's look at her name, Black Widow. There is a reason her character is named after a deadly spider.
Yeah, I mean,
they kill their male.
Even in the comics, like she removed, this is horrible, but they removed all of their sexual reproductive things at a younger age, so they can have sex and use that as their advantage, but they can't get pregnant because that would ruin them as assassins. But like that's more character development than what was given in this movie for freaking poor Wonder Woman. It just.
Now, okay, so I want to talk about a point that Kerry brushed on. I want to dig into that into more detail. Having a completely different set of costume designers, and I'm assuming that they didn't even talk or have a conversation with the previous or they didn't even see Wonder Woman, I'm assuming.
And those costumes were already made.
The costumes were already made, so why not consult with
money?
Save money and just film
they,
on the Wonder Woman set.
Yeah, well, they did save money. They cut off half the outfits.
Like it's expensive.
They could have used the previous outfits and cut them.
They made 2 more outfits out of the leather that they cut out of a single one.
They could have taken the money and added it to the CG budget.
That's true. But the point is, like, and I don't. This is not really a thought that I had watching the Marvel side of things. Is consistency and continuity in costume designs, in particular, because set design these days is not. It's important, but it's not important for character consistency and that sort of stuff.
And in today's world where we have more character developed movies than we do scene movies, like was seen back in the mid 2000s with like Lord of the Rings and such like that.
Yeah.
You can quote unquote get away with having sets that are not real more than you can have characters that are not designed well.
Because it's all about that character development. But I get super annoyed, and I think this is part of the reason why I absolutely that's the wrong way of putting it. I'll get to this later. But one of the reasons that I'm going to review this movie poorly is because there was no conversations between, talking between movies and keeping that consistency happening. Like in Wonder Woman's not conservatively dressed, but she's not, here we go, Mario. Like that's, she's not.
What?
You know what I mean? Like she's not
just go there.
On display like she is in this
Here
movie.
we go.
Here we go.
If I could reach the screen right now, I would kiss you because that was epic. Thank you.
No one's ever heard me say that before? Okay, well that's you.
I've worked with you for 5 years now, and I've not heard you say that once.
Apparently, that's a new thing that I'm saying. Apparently, so look forward to that in future months. But you know what? Like that's you get what I'm trying to say. Like a little bit of consistency within, particularly costume design, because that's where movies are heading. It's less scene based and more character development based.
Yeah,
and especially for the Amazons, because, for example, Captain America's suit evolves because he's evolving as a character. His wardrobe choices reflect that. He's upgrading his suit. Themyscira is frozen in time.
Yeah.
Their society does not evolve.
Exactly.
Why, in the past 100 years, did all of the Amazons just decide one day to get up in the morning and strip?
It was a hot day.
No, it's the summer range. It's the summer range, darling. It's amazing.
It's time for the annual mud wrestling competition, obviously.
Oh.
I mean, every character in the MCU, they have a reason why their costumes change. Iron Man is always building a new suit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When there's no need to, when you can, even if you have
does it
to,
because of who he is. He can't stop his brain.
Even if you have to build a new outfit for whatever reason, and there's a number, as a person who's worked on stage productions before, you have to rebuild things because they oftentimes break, or they just need general repair. So it's instead of spending 50 hours repairing something, it's just easier to do it from scratch.
Yeah.
But there's still consistency there, and I suppose stage is a little bit different to film in the fact that you need that consistency there that night after night, whereas movies you can edit it in a way where you can get around that sort of stuff. This is part of the show where drill down. I'm just kidding. Go on.
No.
It's just there was literally no point in it.
No, there really wasn't.
Yeah.
Especially in the first iteration where they were literally leather bikinis.
Yes.
Right.
Thankfully, they added some armament to them. So we're fighting a demigod, and so we're just gonna be half naked fighting a demigod. That makes complete sense. But yet the people underwater, mostly men, full armor.
Right.
So
the Atlanteans had full metal armor on, and yes, I know magic, whatever, but still, they had full metal armor on.
Right.
I do give the Amazons credit though. The Atlanteans had 3 people guarding that cube, and the Amazons had a fucking army. And they all got knocked down, and they immediately got back up and drew their weapons again.
But yet, still, Mara kicked ass enough to be able to actually, knock down Steppenwolf, which the entire army of the Themyscirans didn't.
Well, she just kind of water bubbled him down. So
it still counts. She is a water magician. That is her thing. Her water bubbling somebody down is her punching somebody.
Yeah, but if the Amazons had an airbender, it would have been different.
Well, yeah, but they didn't. So
and the Atlanteans had a waterbender.
So, all right. Speaking of, we'll talk about that in the next. No, we'll talk about it now because it's special effects. So, I disagree with you on one thing, Dale. They obviously talked because they saw the last 10 minutes of Wonder Woman where she did her awesome God Killer thing, and they did that over and over and over again, and it looked so bad every time she did it.
Yeah,
and
it was just a massive lens flare.
Yeah, exactly. It went from this awesome, gathering of power to let's just overexpose this part of the film for a couple of seconds.
They got up and they yelled, "Here we go, Mario!" and they just went.
So let's see. They did it in the beginning, the bank.
Yep.
They did it 9 times.
Steppenwolf.
Yep.
She did it against Superman, and then Superman stopped her.
A lot of it was the joke of, hey, maybe she's not as powerful as beating, I don't know, a God of War.
Male directors, am I right? Anyway.
Yeah, it's like this amazingly powerful woman. Admittedly, they didn't puss her out, at least. She still stood up to Superman and was pretty much the sole fighter of Steppenwolf for a while. So,
several times.
She was still strong, but however, it was obviously strong through a man's eyes.
That should be the name of the show. Also, did they and the chain of truth? I don't know what it's called, so I'm now calling it that.
Truth. We're close.
Lasso of truth. Thank you. Chain of truth. I like that too. That bit was overplayed too, wasn't it? A little.
Meh.
It also was improperly applied in a few cases.
Right.
Yeah.
The scene with Aquaman sitting on the tumbler was funny.
It should not have been.
The lasso should not have been affecting him because, one, unless they were somehow implying that his balls were sitting inside the coils.
It was up his butt.
Two, because the lasso has to be wrapped around,
the anal beads,
and it has to be held on the other end. So his amusing scene.
His penis was wrapped around one end and his balls were dipped through the middle of it.
Now, we've heard a story on this show about something about that happening, but apart from that, it was up his butt.
Dale, we don't talk about Disney like that.
It was, it's a magical place for a reason, right? Oh, new world. Anyway.
Because it's shounen bullshit.
All right, moving on.
The best new button.
I've lost the get back on the rails button, so it's just going to be that now.
So right. So back on rails. This movie felt like this movie obviously felt like it was two different people handling it.
Yes, and it could not decide what it wanted to be.
Exactly. It was torn between being a Joss Whedon film and garbage, and
hot garbage, not even cold garbage, hot garbage.
And so, okay, going back to overused effects. Hey guys, remember, we're back in a Zack Snyder film. 90% of the movie is going to be slow, fast, slow. Oh my fucking god, I'm so done with slow, fast, slow from him. I never want to see that again.
I don't want to see that ever again.
I understand it's his thing. Kind of like J.J. Abrams has to have his lens flares. But hey, guess what? J.J. Abrams learned from his mistakes and just uses it for effect now, not the entire movie whenever anybody is doing anything.
Yeah.
It's like Michael Bay in Explosions.
Exactly. I am so done with Zack Snyder's everything, the way that he makes movies. And it's sad. The one time he doesn't play by his own rulebook, the movie gets canned and panned, even though it's a decent movie in Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Sucker Punch was kind of it was odd.
But it went away from his rule book that he made. And for me, it's like one of his best movies.
Yeah.
Because it's him not doing him. But everybody hated it, so we're never going to see anything like that again. So it's like, hey.
So you like it because it wasn't a Zack Snyder film?
Exactly. I liked it because it wasn't a Zack Snyder film. Exactly. But it's like, hey, this didn't sell, but this stupid bullshit that this shonen bullshit.
It can now be a show title.
It sells, so he's just going to continue to do that, even though like people hate it. And yes, it's Michael Bay syndrome. It's absolutely Michael Bay syndrome. I'm just sick and tired of it. And that is definitely one of the reasons why. And yeah, I saw this movie twice. Once with Raul at the Alamo Drafthouse, and once with Josh and Carrie at
and Taco Lady.
And Taco Lady. Most of the Tampa Bay Circle Jerk at Studio Movie Grill in Seminole.
Is that the good one with food?
It's the food's. Josh, how's the food there, by the way?
It's real damn good.
I had alcoholic beverage, which made the second viewing of the movie slightly better than it should have been.
I had fresh baked
it was an
chocolate.
entirely different movie.
Yeah, Carrie's a grown ass woman and ordered chocolate chip cookies and milk.
And they were delicious.
And what'd you think of the Draft House?
I love the Draft House. Draft House. I still like Draft House better than the SMG, but just because like it just Alamo Draft House kind of goes above and beyond everything and just kind of amps itself up to 11. The SMG
Except
is
I never refilled my damn drink.
the SMG has a problem with that too.
With bringing them in the first place.
Josh, yeah, I ordered Dr. Pepper like not even halfway through the movie. That never came.
I ordered a Mountain Dew at the start of the movie, and halfway through, I finally got it. After talking to them about it.
So yeah, it's a real good theater. I really like it, and I think that might be the go-to now, especially for like because I like, and plus on Wednesdays they have unlimited pizza for $11 for unlimited pizza. By the way, I was smelling those cookies the whole way through the movie, and they had to have been delicious.
They were real damn good, and they were fresh.
You could have said something, Taco Lady. We would have gotten you food.
Right? We all were there. We all could have gotten you something.
Taco Lady and I can have cookies next time.
Yeah, it'll be the newlywed date when Dale's here next.
They were actually fresh. They were not microwaved.
I did meet Taco Lady.
Yeah, they're engaged now.
He was at our house.
We watched The Room.
Yeah, and they got engaged halfway through.
We watched The Room and an engagement. It's really good.
Brilliant. And then Taco Lady gets the catches the bouquet and just immediately turns to the camera to Dale.
Did was Tommy Wiseau the
he was the minister. Yeah, he was. Yeah,
because we have ministers and engagements now.
Okay, so all right. Anything else we talk about on the production side of this, or do we want to take a quick break and then rip this movie in half on plot level?
Okay.
Editing is terrible. CG was terrible.
The music was amazing.
The music was really good. Yes,
the music was real good. I loved that they used a lot of the old theme songs. That was real nice.
The Danny Elfman Batman theme, the Superman. I forget who did the
John
Superman.
Williams, isn't it?
These ones.
John Williams.
I do like that they put texture into the fabric of superhero suits now instead of them just being straight up lycra from Joann's.
Yep.
For God's sake, do not make Superman's suit look like rubber because it looks like he's fighting in a body condom.
But again, we're sorry for Batman versus Superman and Man of Steel where there was no color. Here's all of it.
I really. Go ahead.
Go ahead first, and then I'll go back to mine because I'm gonna.
It's all costume stuff, so.
Oh, I was going to change the subject a little bit, so you go first.
I gave him whiskey. that was how they got engaged, by the way. Dia gave him whiskey.
I really like that they took a couple of seconds to actually like put rationale behind Flash's suit.
Yep.
Like he hasn't gotten to the point where he's got the liquid speed force stored in the ring.
Exactly.
And speaking of Flash, that actually leads into what I was going to say, which pointing out just quick any special effects that we did like. I really enjoyed Flash's effects. His lightning was really cool.
Right. That was
something. When the alien tech kicked in on Cyborg's outfit, like the manipulation of the outfit into the weaponry, that was pretty cool. because it kind of made sense. Just like things start disappearing and reassembling and coming back, and it looked really cool how it happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it was neat. It was like it was like reconfiguring basically.
The hashtag gamer problems. The water effects were really cool on this.
That's true. That I'll give you. The water effects were really good.
So I mean, it's not all bad. Like, and the parts that were edited together with care, Joss Whedon's parts,
none of it
were like the parts where it's character pointed, like not just the fight, like the points where like Flash is running around the Batcave being a nerd, and like Diana's just sick and tired of Bruce's bullshit. Like,
I work with children.
That's all really well put together.
You know, if she kills you, we'll all vouch for her, right?
Yeah.
I looked it up while you were being an asshole.
Yeah.
Okay. There are parts, and this probably goes in the second half, I'm not too sure. But there were parts, and I suppose it's taken also both, really. The script in this really needed if it got a second rewrite, I reckon a lot of it would be ironed out.
I'm betting.
Well, yeah, because the second rewrite would have been under Joss Whedon.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm guessing a bunch of the parts that were actually fun and good and lighthearted were second rewrites.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there was not enough time to have him redo the entire movie.
Not even that.
Production side that I thought was kind of hilarious was right from the get-go when they started borrowing from the Marvel logo sequence.
Yeah, Josh just belts out, are they ripping off Marvel's movie? I'm like, you have not watched a movie from DC in a couple of weeks, have you? They did it.
Wonder Woman had that opening.
Suicide.
Yeah, Wonder Woman had that opening, and I think. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, I'm really, really sad that there were actually people in the theater behind us, because I would have loved for us to just MST3K the entire thing, like we did the first half hour of the movie.
Oh my god, yes. Yeah, eventually, like, we were just completely ripping on the entire thing, and then people started talking, then the plot started happening, and like, we should probably shut up now.
Yeah, just on the odds that there were like 3 other people like rows behind us.
I don't think they actually would have cared.
Well, that was the thing. There's no way of knowing, and I'm the type of person where I try to avoid pissing people off until at least the second date.
Yep, exactly. All right, so let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll talk about more about the plot and everything. And yes, I laughed on purpose on the second half of the show. So I couldn't think of a good cover that really goes along with it. So Caleb Hiles, friend of the show, finally got around to doing a cover of Strike Back from Fairy Tale. So we're going to listen to that. And then we will be right back on the second half of the show, where we're going to rip this movie apart.
Yes.
Steppenwolf versus Cyborg. Play. Thank you.
Destiny and where I belong's been fed to me now for too long. The pursuit of a purpose for my life has left me dead inside. We talk so casually about how it's fate, but when did I give faith the controls? No one's taking my future away. That is something safe for you. Bring it on, 'cause I'm just gonna walk in the battle. Hey, we just get contest up running the fire. Demo piece, food I made. I got a cock-ass nightmare. Tell me like, tell me talk big. So should eat, tell me my I ain't scared of my past, and now for talks on his house. Screaming out for my pride. With all the pain inside of me, the tears I can never let you see. I know never such thing as destiny. This world is fragile, incomplete, hidden away for none to see. You know, pain for you and me, tell the darkness to witness. It breaks my heart to tell you that I'm a fake, and that this confidence I show cannot take another hit, or it all will then begin to fall. I'm wrapped personal and grounded in my resolve. But when my reality dissolves, I must fight for tomorrow so that I can share this dream with you. Rally the troops, gather round, tell the soldiers follow me now. Don't you ever stop, I'll pay them back. It's spaced out, but taking lives, taking your lives and plays back. Don't try to control me. It's impossible to taste struggle. They'll disappear like bubbles. But this flame in my heart is like an ever-burning candle. Screaming out for your pride. I take on all the agony. If it means we can both be free, let's go. Nobody can hold my fire. You and I never knowing how far we will fly. No more living to hesitate. I won't lose sight along the way. My goal is to rise. If you're lost on the way, just tell me now. I will be your light. Take my I live for this. It's like I'm paranoid looking over my back. It's inside of my head. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's like the face inside. It's right. With all the pain inside of me, the tears I can never let you see. I know I know that there's no such thing as destiny. This smile is fragile and complete.
I was not expecting a Linkin Park drop in the middle of that song. That was Caleb Hyles' cover of Strike Back from Fairy Tail, the anime.
Indeed.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Second half of the show. That means it's time for some ranting and reviewing.
It's my favorite.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. So, I wrote this on Twitter. I don't know if this is a good place to start. And I think I mentioned it earlier, but I have never heard so many people boo at the end of a movie in a movie theater ever. And I have watched some garbage in the movie theater before. I've watched saw Cars 2 opening weekend and no one booed at that movie.
You poor soul.
Damn. Like, I mean, even when we were watching in the Alamo Draft House, people clapped, people are enjoying it, people laughed when it was funny. It just, that's weird. I have not, I mean, that may have flavored your opinion of the movie a bit, Dale.
It might have. Like, I'm not going to beat around the bush. It might have actually, that and movie ticket prices. Stop me if you've heard this before.
So, oh, go ahead.
At some point, the plot veered off from Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon and wandered through Smallville via a Nicholas Sparks novel.
Yes.
With half of his face not animated. So.
Half of his face not.
It was so distracting. He's like trying to give her the bedroom eyes and this loving look, and like his upper lip is not moving at all.
But if you go in the archives of GLS, apparently I also have that problem. But it's like it's kind of like
something about a chin, but that's beside the point.
Oxygen. Oxygen.
It was so distracting that every time he was on screen, like half of his face doesn't move. It felt like they just took him and then like recorded a dude like lip syncing his lines and then just like slapped that over his bottom half of his face, which is really weird because Henry Cavill's a handsome dude and like just no.
Though apparently we did find the secret to giving Superman a sense of humor. Just fucking kill him and then bring him
murder him and he comes back with personality. Holy shit.
It's called Let's Make Batman versus Superman, and then magically Superman has
he's not right. He's processing emotions. He'll actually have some. Give him a second, Aquaman.
So, okay, so in this one, Lex, with his like infinite knowledge and intellect, he brought back Zod as Doomsday, completely mutated, but they're able to bring him back
Well, okay. One, Lex split his. Lex was doing gene splicing with that one.
Oh,
He wanted something that he can control, so he spliced Zod's genes and created that monster. Two, like he even called it out. He was using Earth technology and a little bit of Kryptonian technology. Like the mother boxes
they
flat
had
out have the
Cyborg.
power.
Yeah, they had Cyborg too, who could actually use the mother box.
Yeah.
Also, what is it with DC and mothers?
I don't know. I kind of felt I was waiting for after Steppenwolf showed up for freaking Mother to play. Like, I thought like they weirdly did this weird cut with him when he comes down, and I didn't realize he was talking to the fucking box, and I thought he was talking to Diana's mother. Like, wait, are they retconning Steppenwolf to be the one son of Themyscira? I'm so confused right now. Oh, he's talking to the box.
He's talking to the boss. Which is
So
that,
was he like
those boxes,
sitting
though.
back and like watching Earth and waiting for Superman to die?
He was waiting for Mommy Dearest to call him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, the mother boxes were kind of right. Yeah, they said it. The mother boxes were essentially reading Earth, and at the time where they felt that the time was lowest, the hope was lowest was the time for Steppenwolf to come back. You know, ignoring the Great Depression that almost murdered the world, or the bubonic plague, or any of those.
2016 election.
Yes. Nazis, all of those things.
This audio clip that's totally loading right now.
It just, it felt, everything just felt rushed. Like, it's like, oh, quick, we got to get this team together. There may be, thankfully, the heroes didn't fight, thankfully. Like, not full-blown knockdown, drag-out fight like they did at the beginning of Avengers. So that was nice.
I still saw the echoes there, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, this is literally a copy-paste. Hey, Marvel did this. Let's us try it. And the sad thing is that those were the best parts of the movie.
Mm-hmm. The Superman fight, though, made sense. Like, DC is pretty much always, when you come back to life, no matter what happens, you lose something. So the Superman fight made sense. There was actually something going on there. And
plus, that also harkens back to the please don't hate us because of Batman versus Superman, right?
Exactly. Oh, yeah. No, the biggest please don't hate us because of what we've done in the past was Superman going, I have to save citizens. Be right back.
Because he levels like an entire,
civilians.
Yeah.
Right. Flash is on. Oh, there's too many of them.
Yeah, but leveling half of Metropolis and freaking Man of Steel, and then not caring about jack shit in Batman versus Superman. Like, wait,
no. They actually made a point to show everyone had evacuated because
that was the thing. Like, Batman stares at the screen pretty much and goes, "This part of Gotham is evacuated."
Phone though, there was still a line in this movie that references that type of thing though, where it's like when after the fight underneath the harbor, where
$2.9 million in property destruction. I see you haven't lost your touch.
Exactly. It's just like, it's still destroying shit for no apparent reason.
Also, can J.K. Simmons just go back to being J. Jonah Jameson, please?
No, he works as Jim Gordon. No, he's fine.
Oh.
But he's so much better as J. Jonah Jameson.
He makes Gordon good. Like,
Gordon, no.
I'll accept it as long as he's Gordon in Batgirl.
I want Barbara to be his daughter. Like, that is what, if that is a continuing thing, yes.
Have they said who's going to play Batgirl?
I don't know. Probably some attractive 18-year-old.
They may have said, I don't know, but as long as they get rid of what's his face as Lex Luthor channeling Gary Oldman from The Fifth Element.
Oh God, that was such bad. No.
Turns out it's Ben Affleck.
Please don't sully Gary Oldman like that.
That's what he was going for, though. And like, yeah, Gary Oldman is amazing, and I would never sully him on purpose. But that is the speech pattern that he was reminding me of. I finally figured it out like 2 seconds ago.
Okay,
You're right.
Hold on. Did you guys say Batgirl?
Batgirl, yeah.
I accidentally typed into IMDb Bad Girl.
Oh no!
You got a way different movie.
For the record, there is
John.
nothing listed right now.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that it's like, hey, we are getting Joss Whedon to do Batgirl.
It's like, hey, Joss Whedon is it, and it's got producers, and we've got some writing credits, but that's it.
It might have an editor if Suicide Squad, gives us an editor to use for no reason.
So,
Oh, yeah,
all right. No Suicide Squad references at all in this.
Hey, fuck for that.
No, I would not have been surprised if G.I. Joe or Deadshot showed up.
I wouldn't be surprised if Deadshot showed up, to be honest.
I mean, if you're
I
gonna
kind of want Deadshot to show up.
if you're gonna get any of the squad proper to show up, Deadshot would be the one who would have shown up, and I'm honestly surprised they did not call him up.
I think we talked about this after we saw it, or I can't remember if it was you or my other friends. They have more character development in the little flashback that they had the cameo from the Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
Than they did in Batman and Superman.
Yep. No, that was your other friends, but I completely agree with you. Also,
You know who I was expecting to show up in the very beginning of the movie when they kept zooming in on pigeons for no reason? Is Will Ferrell's character from the producers.
Yeah.
But yeah,
springtime for Luther and Germany.
Springtime for Luther.
In,
Springtime for Gotham. There you go.
in that little cameo by the Green Lanterns Corps, because it was like 2 or 3 of them, right?
No, it was
The
one.
really funny thing was, it was technically Green Lantern Corps that showed up, but they also included a very brief shot of the original Green Lantern, who was not part of the Green Lantern Corps. He was a completely different entity.
When did Alan Scott show up?
He was the one with the cape.
I must have missed him.
Yeah.
It's very short.
Oh.
No,
but yeah.
I was too busy focusing on all the. I counted 7 Watchmen references in this.
Oh.
Yep.
But what I was saying, they in that little scene they showed what happens when a Green Lantern dies and what happens to the ring.
Yep.
So
yeah, so we don't have to do that in the movie. Just in the Green Lantern Corps movie come up in a couple of years, we don't have to do that. It's already in there. It's canon. We're good.
Yeah.
Wait, there's another Green Lantern movie coming out? Don't bury the lead.
Yeah, no, it's not Ryan Reynolds led.
Oh God, no.
It's the Green Lantern Corps, and it's 2020.
Well, if they're doing Green Lantern Corps, then they've got to do Brightest Day, right? Darkest Night, Brightest Day, right?
Well, no, see, that's the thing is we're in the darkest night right now. 2020 is when Trump's out of office.
Right.
So that's the brightest day.
Darkest Night, no. The Darkest Night, there's no way they're doing that.
Hang on, sorry, Josh. I have to give you one of these. Josh.
Because it's shonen bullshit.
Sorry, I have to give you one of those.
You may get you may get the Sinestro Corps War, but you're not getting Darkest Night is, freaking 30 years worth of continuity buried into a crossover. You're not getting
That was a U2 song, wasn't it? Oh no, That's a Beautiful Day. Never mind. Moving on.
You just gave somebody an idea for a song pick.
We're just gonna keep going with or without you.
Oh. And I'm all out of U2 songs because I'm 12. Anyway, moving on. Let's go, Mario. Okay. Yep.
All right, so they neutered Steppenwolf. Heavily neutered Steppenwolf in this. And they name dropped the New Gods and Darkseid, and that was cool. But just a name drop, you don't even get a sight like of the Darkseid anything, which would have looked like ding those cool blue things on those cool blue theater walls that we had.
Yeah.
Carrie wanted me to work that into the show somehow.
Yeah.
So
the nifty wall thingies.
The nifty wall thingies, yes.
Nifty wall thingies.
To somebody who's a newcomer to the DC universe, the actual, the not character plot, all of the big stuff that was happening, felt so incredibly generic.
Yep.
It was so generic. It was just. It wasn't even generic.
It was more generic than a show that. It was more generic than a show that comes on Sundays at 7 a.m. Eastern time on the geek-io.net/live channel.
Okay. Thank you for doing my plug for me. Also, it's more generic than some products that you can fill up your home with at tinyurl.com/generic store. Anyway,
it's more generic than an incredibly attractive blonde man doing some stuff for the early 2018 for that generic show.
Huh? Lord. Daniel doesn't get references. Going with that.
Yeah, everything was just so generic. Like the actual overlying plot of this was just absolutely so generic, and it was almost an atrocity to even integrate that into the Fourth World continuity. Like Steppenwolf was literally a whining baby, and that is not who Steppenwolf, the Breaker of Worlds, is.
He was literally crying for mommy.
Yes, exactly.
Which,
and he is the Breaker of Worlds. He is not somebody who sits and cries for mommy. He is a person entrusted by Darkseid, a god of darkness, who has beaten death itself. He is not somebody who is able to be just whining about the fact that he lost. He lost and had to take his ball and go home.
So would you beg?
He was born to be wild, damn it.
Would you beg to say that he's not Steppenwolf, he's more of a Steppenpussy?
Yeah.
Steppenpuppy.
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 Also sad that nobody laughed.
Just make sure you're not grabbing him.
It was okay, CJ. It was okay.
Thank you. I'll take it.
But again, like Batman versus Superman with the Martha, 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 and then now with Steppenwolf crying for mommy.
Also, that was my clench moment of the movie when they were talking about needing to bring out the big guns, and Superman's got Batman by the jaw, not even holding him by the throat. He has a death grip on that man's jaw. And I swear to God, if he had started going, Martha, 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 I would have just up and walked right out of that theater.
It was close.
Again,
it was close.
It was close, but it is 110 minutes of an apology for Batman versus Superman.
Actually,
you would not have gotten
no, he could have actually. Let's drill down, because he was going to say something and it was kind of stifled during that thing.
He said, Alfred, I need the big gun, and then
No, this is during the jaw clench.
I think it was more pained noises.
Yeah, like almost a person of the strength of arm strength of a god squeezing your amazingly sturdy jaw.
The movie was a collection of stifled noises. Anyway, Carrie, go on.
I did enjoy the "Do you bleed" reversal.
Yeah. Yeah. Something's definitely bleeding. Ding, Joss Whedon.
Well, the world needs you, but do they need you?
Yeah, and that is a genuinely good response to the bullshit that Batman put Superman through.
I'm pretty sure CJ and I looked at the screen at that point and went, nope.
No. And even Batman said, no, they don't. They need Clark. Even Batman's like, I am not good.
I could have done without any of
He's
that.
the hero the city needs, but not the one it deserves.
Also, what are your superpowers? Being rich.
Yay, calling it out. Ding, Joss Whedon.
How did you get the house back? I bought the bank.
Ding, Joss Whedon.
Okay.
It's kind of a reflex for me.
Everyone stop. I can't do this anymore. Everyone stop. Everyone stop. We're all ignoring the elephant in the room. And I can't not...
Jason Momoa's prehensile dick?
Yes. And the fucking first 5 seconds of this movie is a heaping pile of shit. We can all agree on this. The awkward kids going up to Superman and asking him for an interview for their podcast.
Man, all right, so now I can say this on the air. That was me 7 years ago. You shut your face.
See, I liked that better than the shoehorning in Batman stopping a random breaking and entry.
Okay, that was also a pile of shit. But
yeah, that was absolutely, and I think it might have been a plant because that dude did not give a shit.
That dude was dropped there by a little fellow called Ex Machina.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because the very fact that the conversation ends with, it's because he's gone, isn't it? It's
yeah.
Like, all right, you exposition motherfucker.
Right.
I see your angle.
Exposition burglar.
So, do you think they could have done if they cut out the rooftop fight and just went right into the Wonder Woman museum fight?
Yeah,
they could. I feel like we did need to get Batman tracking the bug things, but they could have done it better than scaling from, Batman versus Superman and Man of Steel, which, they were shitty movies, but they were dealing with huge overarching, shits going down to I'm going to be friendly neighborhood Batman.
So, okay. So when these bugs melt or die, they leave the 3 boxes in their wake.
They leave the MacGuffin in their wake, and the image of the MacGuffin.
Okay, let's all agree that cold open with the kids could have at least not existed.
It was cute, and it was.
It was not fucking cute. It was awful.
It wasn't. I would like to have seen more expression from Henry Cavill's upper lip. Because he looked so awkward, and there was nothing else. Like, it wasn't as obtrusive for me in other scenes when there were other things on screen to look at.
Yeah.
When it's zooming in on his face and a blank background, and because Superman, actual Superman, the way he's supposed to be, is being approached by a bunch of adorable kids who want to interview him for a podcast. Don't you think he would fucking smile at them?
Exactly. All about that.
He did. He did smile. His bottom half of his mouth smiled. So it was.
No. By the way, I need a screen cap of that.
Well, the thing is that
I'm trying to smile when I'm moving the top half of my mouth.
It was one of the producers or someone came out earlier and said that they were willing to pay Paramount the CGI money to add the beard for whatever movie he was working on, to let him shave.
He could have had a mustache then, like in that whatever
it could have been a fake.
Exactly.
They could have made a face wig.
Yeah.
But they also
it's easier to add a fake face. Like, it's easier to add fake facial hair than remove it. Paramount was super dicks about this.
I don't know why we're being so economical on this show. But they could have gone down to the local, $2 everything's gotta go sale and pick up a fake mustache.
Yeah,
and it would have looked better than the CG upper lip.
Yeah, exactly.
They could have drawn it on with eyeliner, and it would have looked better.
A beagle puss would have looked better than that upper lip.
But
I forgot that they actually have a makeup
a milk mustache would have looked better than that upper lip.
Just have to draw on the old school pencil mustache.
Oh, stop! Hang on. What color milk do you like?
Chocolate
white
milk. It could have been chocolate milk.
Dark chocolate.
Yeah, dark chocolate milk. That's what Henry Cavill and his glorious pecs drinks.
He is an attractive man.
He is a really attractive man. This movie was filled of attractive people.
That were underused, but
to be fair, Flash was more adorable than he was attractive, I'd say.
Yes, but no, I love it.
I
that's a
wanted
guy
to
that
hug
looks
him.
exactly like me, but isn't me. He's a very attractive young Jewish man, though. Flash was a linchpin for that this movie needed desperately. Between by the way, Flash and Cyborg is how Superman and Batman are supposed to interact. Those two interacting those two interacting as kind of sort of friends, but still kind of tiptoeing towards each other. That is how Batman and Superman were supposed to act when they first met.
Oh, by the way, I could have done without the interaction in the graveyard scene. I could have done.
No, it needed to happen. No, it needed. No, that scene needed to happen.
Oh no! Okay, That's not what I'm saying.
Those characters that needed to happen.
The scene needed to happen. The interaction between the two of them, I could have done.
No, the interaction is what needed. The interaction is what made Raul and I start to fan cast a freaking Teen Titans movie with those two being the lead. Like,
I would be right there with you. I didn't need a race card in the middle of my superhero movie. Thanks.
That was fine. It was fine. That's another ding Joss Whedon thing. Like,
I do think I understand that they sent Cyborg because robot person, he's very strong and can do this job very quickly. Do you want to send the guy to illegally exhume a corpse who is literally glowing?
Yeah, like, and admittedly, like, even Flash was like, yeah, I could have done this a lot faster, but, I should probably have some kind of respect for what I'm doing. Yeah, but it should have been like Batman, like, there with them, but, rich white guy.
Also, yeah, that whole sequence, like, I don't do well with anything Memento Mori, so that whole thing of digging Superman up just really squicked me out.
I see why it was there. It has its place, but just don't.
I liked the interaction. I didn't like seeing them digging the hole, opening the coffin, pulling his body out of it. Like, that part is.
Whoa.
By the way, what the photograph that was in the coffin with Superman? Did that really need to be taken back to the magical bath?
Well, they bought the whole.
They opened the
whole coffin.
Yeah, they opened the coffin in the pod.
So it was just there. Also, they could have used that to help remind Superman who he was, and instead they let it drop into the liquid.
Yeah, you have a MacGuffin right there. Use the damn MacGuffin that you have right there. Obviously, he is very affected by his parents, and Batman should fucking know that.
We're just gonna burn this.
Don't abandon the box.
Don't abandon the box. It's by itself too, so there's that. Of course, they're going to burn the photograph like they burnt this entire movie. So there is that. They're like, oh, fuck it. We're not going to burn the photograph. We've already ruined this movie. So
I mean, the entire movie was a little bit rushed.
A little bit? Like, for the huge ensemble movie that this was, the fact that this is the shortest movie of the 5 of them is a huge injustice. By the way,
Injustice League. Nice.
No, Injustice is a game is a storyline where everybody turns into assholes, and it's really good. It's a really good storyline. It's in video games.
It's in this movie too. Everyone turns into assholes. This was only 2 hours, and I say only 2 hours because I saw Man of Steel, and that was like 19 hours and 2 seconds. So.
And Batman versus Superman was about 36. Like, it was almost as long as that boss fight that we fought at frickin' Manipool. Like. I can poke at everybody, Josh.
Hang on, CJ, I'm gonna have to give you one of these. Hang on, I'm just gonna have
because it's shonen bullshit.
That's sorry.
Can you give Josh a hug for us?
Especially for me, please.
Am I tethered? Can I make it? Yes, I can make it.
Yeah, just let me know.
There we go. That's for me, Josh.
Except the kiss. That was from me.
Moving on. I'm glad Josh laughed. That would have been really.
I am not the messenger there. You guys do whatever.
There's more than one reason why we call it the Tampa Bay Circle Jerk. I mean, what?
I'm glad I could have temporarily been a part of that. Anyway,
just this. I mean, yeah, this movie was so rushed. Like, this movie, freaking Suicide Squad felt rushed. This movie felt like it was going at Flash speed. This movie was dipped in the Speed Force. Like,
but
and not in a good way. Like, it was in the shitty Speed Force, the one that just turned left at the corner instead of just kept going straight.
How long was Batman vs Superman?
I think it was going on. Batman vs Superman was going on 2.5 hours.
I feel like this was
Justice.
Dawn of Justice.
Yeah,
Dawn of Justice.
I feel like this was an artifact, though, of them like originally wanting it to be in 2 parts, and then they had
absolutely
together.
100%. Like, yeah, it felt like they were like the Steppenwolf lead up, and then like there should have been a lot more content involved in there. Maybe a better interaction with the introduction of Mira. Though, again, she took down Steppenwolf for a couple of seconds and took 2 solid hits from him. So, I mean, yay, strong women being able to do shit.
He
did more than the entire Themysciran army. So
BVS was 151 minutes.
yeah, going on. Well, Jesus, going in 3 hours.
The Ultimate Edition was 183 minutes.
Oh,
3 hours.
Why?
I want to watch the Ultimate Edition.
Okay.
Brendan
No.
owns it. Like Brendan owns that movie. So next time you're here, I might ask him because he should be home by then.
So what? Okay, so what Josh Whedon had to work with,
Josh Whedon.
Joss, not Josh.
Okay.
Josh.
Josh.
I do what I can.
Okay.
The studio.
Okay. When he had to,
Is that a girl that's been on your mind
okay.
all the time?
He did what he could.
Yes,
With
he
this
salvaged
movie.
this movie as much as he possibly could, given the amount of time that he had, because he got post-production. He didn't get actual production. He didn't get script writing. He didn't get any of that. This movie was
He had to
done.
MacGyver that shit.
Yeah, and so the fact that there was any kind of levity, any kind of storyline, any kind of character development, any kind of goodness in this movie was very obviously his part, because it has his handprint all over it. Like every part that you enjoyed in this movie, I could almost guarantee that
Joss
it was
Whedon.
Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
And there's a huge thing going around online wanting to see the Zack Snyder film version of this.
No.
I don't want to see
Why?
that at all.
Like that belongs on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
What I want to see.
What cutting room floor? There was none.
I want to see the entire cast get together with like a Sony Handycam in Joss Whedon's backyard and refilm this movie the way it should have been.
Oh my god.
Cabin in the woods. You want to
Okay.
cabin out of the
I'm
cabin
gonna
in the
ask
woods?
this, guys.
No,
There
Midsummer.
was a thing done by Corden. What the hell is his first name, CJ?
That would be James.
James Corden. He did a live action version of the movie that was better in some aspects than the movie, with some of the things that they did visually for it, shall I say. Google it.
Yeah, no,
It's
absolutely.
amazing. I made CJ sit through it. I thought he was gonna pee his pants. He
It
was
was
laughing so hard.
brilliant. That man is far better than what we deserve. And I apologize. I'm having a seizure right now. So yeah, that's the reason why my camera's off. Fuck.
But
So yeah, this movie gave me a seizure, you guys.
it gave me heartburn, so that's a plus. Also,
Well, it apparently
hard
made
to
Aaron
stomach.
barf his brains out.
Yeah.
wow, there's that.
This movie was so bad it made my son projectile vomit all over our hotel room.
But you were able to save the lion, right?
Yeah, I was able to save the lion, thankfully. His lion, his one in a kind lion now, because it could never be gotten again. I was able to salvage. No,
That's
thank-
the most important thing.
Oh yeah, like he was ready to break down in tears when we told him there was probably not going to be able to save the lion. And
Yeah, there's something about your son covered in barf, standing in the shower, and you going, I don't know if I can save Leo. And he's like, Leo.
Yeah,
Like, we need to
he
get
was
you clean.
broken at that point. And
But Leo.
he woke up the next morning and he saw, and I gave him Leo, and I have never gotten a bigger hug from that boy.
Yeah,
So
amazing.
So what's up with you can't get that anymore?
It can't. It doesn't exist. Like
It is a retired Build-A-Bear lion from 4 years ago.
Oh,
he made that with his own hands, and it's no longer a thing that can be made. So, so let's. Shall we go ahead
Alright.
into this movie? Because I
Before
need to
we-
get off of here.
Okay. I had a bit, but that's all right.
What is it?
What's your bit?
There's a poll in the chat room. Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice versus Captain America: Civil War. Go.
Oh,
Go,
geez,
go, go,
there's
go.
no question. Like, even the freaking Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. I'd rather watch Green Lantern again. Like,
Oh.
I hated BVS. Like, hated BVS. And Rachel actually turned the movie off halfway through when she tried watching it. So, like,
I turned it off and went to bed because I said, fuck this, I'm tired.
yeah, I hated
Not
that
worth
movie
staying up for.
so much.
Yeah.
Like, Man of Steel was just middling. Like, I still stand by my Man of Steel on that one. Like,
Yeah.
It is not good. It is not bad until the end. The end is pretty shit. But like the rest of the movie is just there. I mean, it was okay after Superman Returns. Though Brandon Routh makes a really good Superman. That movie was shit.
All right, but that's all I had. I just was trolling around and saw that, and I'm like, really? That's a poll that exists?
Yep.
You already know the answer to it before you actually click the results.
So, shall we go ahead and Tito this up? Anything else on this?
No.
Still the second best DC movie, which is not saying much.
Yeah, the second best DC movie is about on line with one of the worst Marvel movies.
I disagree, but that's just me.
Okay, which movie did you like more than this?
Man of Steel.
Really?
I liked Man of Steel better than this.
Wow.
Man of Steel was slightly better.
Dale, I'm taking away your girl power card.
Minus one princess point.
I don't know where to take this now.
No, you lost princess points.
I mean, you're welcome to that opinion.
I know it's wrong. I understand that.
I honestly think that the way that you watch this movie in a environment where people were already angry at it for whatever reason, probably because there's just Australian and there was maybe a giant spider in there somewhere.
That would have made them happier, though.
Yeah, then it's like, oh, my puppy followed me to work.
There weren't any giant spiders.
There weren't any giant spiders.
So, I mean, I think that might have colored your opinion on this. And because you had a pretty similar situation when you watched Spider-Man Homecoming, didn't you? Where people were grumpy for some reason?
No, I was the only one that was grumpy.
Oh.
There was a movie in the past.
That one you're still wrong about, by the way.
I still stand by that.
You are still wrong.
I still stand by that and my Futurama question on the GLS quiz show.
You're wrong on both of them.
Shonen bullshit.
Which can now be seen on Sci-Fi. So there you go.
Yes, it can. However, not new episodes like the way that you phrased that question. All right, so I'm going to go first because I need to shut up for a couple of minutes. I am going to I mean, as much as I rip on this movie, I still enjoyed myself. Yeah, I agree with Carrie. Second best DC movie. But, I mean, that being said, like, I only enjoyed this movie slightly more than I enjoy Avengers Age of Ultron. So I can't in good conscience give this a huge great score, but I'd give it a solid 7. I mean, it's not bad. It's far from great, but I do not regret watching it the twice that I watched it, unlike Avengers Age of Ultron.
Fair.
Josh, you're next.
So I haven't seen most of the DC Universe movies because I'm just not much of a fan of the DC Universe characters because for the longest time, their comic books were all one color. Gray. Dark and gritty, dark and gritty, dark and gritty, dark and gritty, dark and gritty. Oh, hey, look, it's Green Lantern Corps branching out into different colors, still dark and gritty. And like there are some DC characters that I genuinely just like based on their concept, the way the characters are portrayed. You know, Flash has always been one of my favorite superheroes. Cyborg, Green Lantern, and like Green Lantern got mishandled to all hell and back. You know, Flash and Cyborg haven't had movies yet, but this movie makes me look forward to that. Like, I actually want to go see these movies now because this movie was not terrible. It wasn't great. It wasn't, you know, freaking fantastic like, you know, some of the recent Marvel entries have been. Most of the recent Marvel entries have been. But it's also kind of sad because the only reason this movie was as enjoyable as it was is because they were trying so hard to make it a Marvel movie. And
that's very true.
Like I said, Wonder Woman was absolutely fantastic to the point where I couldn't even properly parse it as being part of the DC movie universe when I slipped up earlier. It's like, oh, wait, right, Wonder Woman's DC. This isn't that good, but it's better. they are clearly trying, and it gives me hope that they'll manhandle the intelligent property less going forward, and it won't be all monochrome. Blah, 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 blah. So we'll see what happens there, but maybe this is being partially flavored by the fact that I had a real shit day of work, of several consecutive weeks of shit days at work before going to see this movie with people I'm very fond of the company of. And it was an enjoyable experience in an enjoyable theater. Was it a perfect movie? By no means. You know, it had a lot of flaws. It had some things I didn't like about it, but it was still evident that they're trying. I think they need to, you know, find their own formula and not necessarily just, hey, this worked for Marvel, let's do this. But I don't regret going to see this movie like I probably would have regretted seeing Batman versus Superman. Or, you know, it just... Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed my time.
Watching the Ultimate Collection or whatever alternate 108-minute version of it is.
The 3-hour spree of...
Yeah, it's just that over and over for 3 hours.
So yeah, I mean, it wasn't a flawless piece of entertainment, but I was entertained. And as I've said in, you know, most of our rant and reviews, I go to the movies to be entertained. I don't go to, you know, be depressed or be given, you know, deep thoughts to think about regarding man's place in the universe. And there have been movies I've seen in the past that have, you know, given me a little bit of retrospective. But for the most part, if I'm going to see a superhero movie, I'm going to see superheroics. I want to see light. I want to see hope. I want to see color. I want to see good triumphing over evil and love saving the day. Because, like I've said before, the world is dark and gritty right now. We need heroes. And DC finally stepped up their game a little in that regard. So I'm going to give this one a 7.5 top half. And most of that is because of Flash.
Yeah.
Like, he really made this movie for me.
Awesome. Who's going next? We'll do G3 rules on this.
Let's get the opinion of the League of Super Raoul.
Super Raoul!
Okay, so I did enjoy this movie a lot. There were a couple of things that kind of irked me. Cyborg is one of my main things. Yeah, I see that it could have been longer, 2 movies, in fact. But I did love that Whedon did do what he could. He did what he could with what he had. And you had Zack Snyder all over it because there was lots of fights. Not as brutal as, say, like 300 or Man of Steel. But,
yeah.
I mean, you still had it. Because, I mean, they made a point to have it in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Poor Russian people.
Right?
Yeah, right. Let's pick this one place where there's 2 houses in Russia.
At least they explained it in World, though. Like, that's my important criteria. Is there actually a feasible reason to be doing it here?
Yeah, because there was no internet, no way they could figure out that the mother boxes were there.
Exactly.
I did like the buddy between Cyborg and the Flash. That was great. They did do a little bit between the Flash and Superman. When, like, Flash is like, yeah, I'm saving all these people. Superman comes flying by with an entire building of people.
Right.
What was the other one? And Aquaman. Jason Momoa. Oh, he is so good.
Oh, yeah.
He is just such a badass. He's just like... Yeah, well, that was him with Under the Effect. But, yeah, we're probably going to die, but let's go ahead and do it.
like I said though, you had to turn him into Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this movie. When I first saw it at my local theater, I was gonna give it a 6.57 because I didn't have an enjoyable viewing of it because they don't kick people out of this theater. When I saw it with CJ at the Draft House, much more enjoyable,
right?
Viewing of it. So I'm giving this a 7.5, top half. So yeah, it's a movie I can watch maybe once more.
7.5, 7.5.
So it's gonna be watched one more time before Justice League 2 comes out, basically.
Yeah. Like if it's on, I'll probably watch it. If it's on TV and it's like midway through it, I'll finish watching it.
Yeah, I can get you on that one.
I don't really disagree, but that's fine.
Rachel.
Other than the fact that, it got my kid sick, no, it was because my kid decided that eating Texas salsa plus pizza plus an entire thing of popcorn by himself. Yeah.
Yikes.
Ouch.
Yeah, he did.
He ate that whole bowl by himself, minus 2 handfuls, because Kia was like, I'm full. Oh, damn it, kid. You paid for it.
Just because it's there, AJ, doesn't mean you need to eat it all. I don't think me and CJ finished all the popcorn.
No, we did not. We barely finished half of it.
And I was nibbling.
No, that's because there was a
CJ.
Sorry.
I went into this with 0 expectations because 1, different director than Wonder Woman.
Oh, that's something else I have to add to my rant. Sorry, you just reminded me of something. Never mind.
2, different director than Wonder Woman. And 3, yeah. Not even going there. Let's think of it this way. You have a very powerful woman running around slightly more scantily clad than she is in the movie that I fell in love with her with. Because I'm sorry, if you can be 5 months pregnant and filming that, I have fucking mad kudos for you.
Yeah.
Because most 5-month pregnant women I know are like, F that. I'm not standing for more than 15 minutes, let alone, dressing like a total sex symbol. Modestly. But imaginations are great, people. Use them. You don't need to film sex scenes with, half naked women that aren't supposed to be sex scenes. I will say thank you for the gratuitous level of shirtlessness for Jason Momoa. That definitely made me feel slightly better about oogling not only Gal Gadot, but him.
So you're an
equal opportunity eye candy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. At least it wasn't, only Wonder Woman had her ass showing and, more skin showing than needed to be because he was just topless. And I was like, oh, hi. Come back. Don't swim away.
The ocean ain't the only thing that's wet here.
Whoa! Pew, 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 pew.
So not only that, but, I have to admit, even my kids were like, the backgrounds were a little funny. Yeah, well, we'll teach you about that when you grow up a little more, guys. Just, imagine it all being, completely flawless. And my daughter goes, but it was flawed.
Uh-huh.
I love your daughter so much.
My daughter, guys.
But it wasn't.
It's just very simple. It was flawed.
Oh.
Yes, it was. Did you still enjoy it? It was good. Okay, now here's the question that you posed to your child. Did you like this better? Did you like Wonder Woman better? Or did you like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or 2 better? Wonder Woman. Why? Because she's a strong woman who don't take no shit.
Because it's a better movie.
I'm sorry. Stuff.
Yeah. Stuff. Right.
I said, but Wonder Woman was in this. Yeah, but it wasn't the same. Okay.
Out of the mouths of babes.
Right?
To that
Yeah.
point,
Kids
Aaron
said the
points out,
darndest.
Mommy, you were drooling a little bit. Yes, yes, I was. You really liked Aquaman. Yes, yes, I do. So, because of the fact that one of the things that I have to judge superhero movies on is the fact that it keeps my children quiet, amuses my children, and then thusly amuses me because I can actually sit back and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I will actually rate this slightly higher because I also have to admit being at Alamo Draft House didn't hurt because it was awesome. Other than my freaking Coca-Cola was never refilled. I'm a little bitter about that, just a little bit.
Well, yeah, you didn't have the taste of a sweet, refreshing Coca-Cola on hand.
I wanted my Coke Zero. Not Coke Zero, my Diet Coke. And I don't normally want Diet Coke.
No, if they want to, I am not arguing. We love Coke.
Right? We can get.
Coca-Cola.
I don't know what you're talking about, CJ.
Nope.
Luckily, I'm not wearing my Coke shirt. Actually, I don't know why I went like this, but anyway, move on.
So, I know CJ will rate it significantly lower than this, but I'm going to say it's an 8.
Rachel did. Rachel paid attention.
Rachel paid attention.
And it really is, 1, because of gratuitous Jason Momoa, 2, because of gratuitous Gal Gadot, and 3, because my kids shut up for 2 hours. It was glorious. Granted, they shut up also because one of them was feeding their face consistently to the point of like chipmunk cheeking popcorn.
Yeah, I know. It's like one's not talking because he's constantly got food in his mouth.
And, yes, I did have to clean it up later on that evening and then some. But I still got 2 hours of silence from my children, and that's glorious in my book. So I don't know who we have left. Carrie?
That's Kerry and I, which... Okay. Okay.
So, like Josh, one of the most important litmus tests that I apply to any movie I see is, did I have fun? Was I entertained? In the case of this movie, the answer is yes. One of the other litmus tests is its treatment of women. And yes, the camera angles on Gal Gadot were not good. Her making bedroom eyes at Flash when he tackled her, the gratuitous ass shots are not
Gosh,
good.
that was so bad.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
And what I'm about to say does not excuse the things I just said. However, they do need to be counted as well. Yeah. Wonder Woman holds her own against the big bad for longer than anybody else in the movie. She is the only person to hold her own against Superman. The Themyscirans held their own against Steppenwolf for the longest out of any of the groups in the movie. And that says something about... I mean, and they also had their priorities in order. You see a good dozen of them sacrifice their lives.
Without question.
Without question. 2 of them are crushed under a door to let the queen get out with the box and still trap Steppenwolf inside for a few seconds to slow him down to give them the chance of getting the box away.
But that also goes back to how the Valkyries are trained. They live a life of service specifically to protect everything that they have in their world.
Exactly. And that's why I'm listing this as a good thing. Like, they are shown as being that dedicated, as that disciplined. You show them doing the intelligent thing and putting entire fucking army on guard for this thing and immediately alerting the authorities when it starts doing weird shit. So, yes, there was problematic treatment of women, but there was also slightly better treatment of women. So at least we're moving the gauge somewhat in a better direction. Oh, and Mira also waterbending Steppenwolf out of the arena for a while, which was awesome. So I look forward to seeing her doing more shit because she was freaking cool. But aside from, this movie really, because Joss Whedon didn't have time to put the Whedon polish on the entire script and completely reshoot it like we all wish he could have, it does get wibbly wobbly between Snyder and Whedon, and it suffers for that. However, if we hadn't had Whedon, we would have had a hot pile of steaming shit.
Oh, yes.
So, like, you can actually see color, you actually see personality, and the story honestly was just a framework for me to watch these characters actually be human beings for once in their fucking on-screen lives.
Yeah.
And so I had fun. It is a step in the right direction. This is the most I have enjoyed a non-Wonder Woman DC movie ever.
A non-solo Wonder Woman movie. Yes.
Yes. Well, this is Wonder Woman was in it, but I don't count it as a Wonder Woman movie. This is an ensemble movie.
Right.
Yeah. And so I'm going to give it a 7.5, top half.
Because of Momoa chest, right?
Well, Momoa in general, he's an awesome person. I love the direction that they're taking Aquaman. And while I get what you're going for with the Wolverine comparison, CJ, I don't think, for me, it's not quite the same as Wolverine because, yeah, he's more intense, but he's also a goofball. He's a surfer dude bro who doesn't quite know what he's doing with his life, but he's also a total badass.
Yeah.
It's like
he's kind of Maui on steroids.
He even made the Maui Yahoo when he was fighting the bug thing.
Yeah, Yahoo!
So, yeah. It's like they took Maui and crossed him with Pirate Aquaman from Young Justice. And then applied a DC Instagram filter to him.
Applied a DC Instagram.
Speaking of DC missteps, the fact that they canned Young Justice because it was attracting too many female fans
Coming back.
shows you just how out of touch they were.
Yeah, and now that they're bringing it back because they want the female fans. Like, oh yeah, we really screwed up.
Is there a DC?
You guys can come in the fort now.
We're sorry we offended you. Please give us your money.
Girls are allowed. We're sorry.
We're sorry.
I feel like the collective DC corporate leadership saw how amazing Wonder Woman did and just all said, "Oh fuck."
Well,
guys, we might have been wrong.
Well, all right. I'm going to, and Josh, I don't know how much DC you have read. I'm going to say two words that any person who reads comic books is going to understand the reason why there's been a drastic change in the way DC, especially television-wise, has changed. Jeff Johns. He is now in charge of pretty much everything on screen with TV and cinematic and everything. Funny, first movie he was fully in charge of, Wonder Woman.
Oh.
Jeff Johns is the one who reinvented Green Lantern, the one who reinvented Aquaman, the one who breathed life back into DC Comics. And they realized, hey, this man brought us back from the dead before. He can do it again. And by damn it, he has done so.
Dear Jeff Johns, can you just give Patty Jenkins the DCEU, please?
Right? Let's replace Zack Snyder with Patty Jenkins, please.
Did he also do the new Green Lantern, the animated Green Lantern?
Yes. He was part of that. He was part of Young Justice. He was part of all of those things.
Not that he he's oversaw it, right? I mean,
yeah, he's the Greg Berlanti. He's the producer. He's the chief creative officer of DC.
I actually thought that one was really good. The animated Green Lantern.
Oh yeah, it was great. Cartoon Network apparently doesn't know how to handle cartoons anymore, though.
Was he sleeping during the making of this movie, though? That's what I want to know.
Dale, Jesus.
Oh right, we need to get the counterbalance here. Dale, give us that hot steaming take.
You can join us live, 10 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, that's anyway. Lullaby. Okay, I've heard all of this. I've listened to this whole show. I've been here the whole time. Tweety, you guys has actually made me like this movie more somehow.
Because we actually know what we're talking about and not just grumpy Australians.
Yes, you're not wrong. I don't even know. I don't even know where to start. This movie, there wasn't anything to kind of... It all just seemed too generic. It just seemed too copy and paste to me. And that's...
I can see that. I can understand your feelings there.
Yeah. It's not necessarily copy-paste of a template. It's certainly that. But it's also copy-paste from the things from previous DC movies, excluding Wonder Woman, come in to play here very loudly. And starting off this movie the way it did with that cold open, and I'm going to call it a cold open because you can remove it and it doesn't take anything away from the movie at all because it's never referenced again. That is not a good way to start. Yes, people will find it cute or whatever. Does not need to be there. They did an excellent job with Wonder Woman. I adored Wonder Woman. I gave Wonder Woman a 10. I still stand by that. My problem is I went into this movie with too high of expectations. And I can see that. I can fully acknowledge that. Because coming off the back of Wonder Woman, I've gone, okay, here we go. DC is on the right track. They know how to push a story forward, how to portray women in empowering ways without overtly sexualizing them. And Wonder Woman, I'm sorry, was overtly sexualized in all the female characters in this movie were overtly sexualized for no reason. And the costumes...
Not all of them. Martha was fine.
Appalling. Fine, in air quotes. That's not a high bar either. Fine. That's definitely... I could walk over that bar. And it's just... At least with Man of Steel, I could have at least grab onto something and kind of run with it, if that makes sense. Like there was something there to kind of go, all right, here's where we're going. This movie felt very kind of janky in parts, and that definitely comes down to the changing of hands in post-production. It definitely, or end of filming, definitely not at the beginning of the process. It definitely comes with that, changing over. I still just can't. If the two bars are, was I entertained? The answer was no. And did they, how did they portray women? Overtly sexually is the word that comes to mind for no reason. I cannot recommend this movie at all. Just flatline. Cannot recommend this movie at all. I will, however, in speaking with all of you and having this show and having this conversation, this has been very generous on my part. Yeah, right. I'm going to give it a 5. I can barely give this a passing grade.
And I think... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
You bring up an interesting point with you going in with high expectations. Show of hands, who came in with low to no expectations to watch this movie?
Me.
Oh yeah, Rachel's not a camera.
There's your answer, Dale, as to why all of us are like, hey, this was actually somewhat decent. And you're like, oh my God, it sucks.
My bar of expectation was I wanted this to be better than Suicide Squad. That was my bar. Because I still find Suicide Squad is enjoyable. It's not good, but I found it enjoyable. And that's what I wanted out of this. I wanted something that was as enjoyable or more than Suicide Squad.
And to the audio listeners, everybody raised their hands except for Dale.
Everyone raised their hand, yeah.
With me and probably to Carrie, although I'm not going to speak for her directly, like me going into this movie, I basically went to watch it for this show. I was not really planning on seeing it in theaters. I was going to wait for a Netflix or something like that because I didn't want to spend my hard-earned money on this movie because my expectations were that Wonder Woman was the diamond. that they were going to have a damn impossible time, especially so soon, making a movie anywhere close to good after the success that was Wonder Woman.
Exactly.
And so I went in expecting it to be a Zack Snyder steaming hot mess. The fact that I enjoyed it is why I rated it as highly as I did, and speaks volumes to how much work Joss Whedon put into salvaging this sinking ship.
Yes.
Going, okay, I can't make it through Batman versus Superman, so if I can make through this, I'm already ahead of the game. That works for me.
And the fact that like Suicide Squad was the first fully enjoyable DC movie, and it was the first non-Zack Snyder film. I'm wondering if eventually DC might realize there is a common
denominator.
And
lowest common denominator.
If everybody is the asshole, Mr. Snyder, maybe you're the asshole.
And the thing, like, and yes, Dale, I do not want to discount the sexualization as all, because it was a problem. But I also have to give credit for the women actually accomplishing things, because that is rare in movies. The fact that they are actually doing things, and they are actually strong and good at what they're doing and smart and skilled, does count for a lot.
Nobody got thrown in the fridge.
Yes.
To piggyback on that one a little bit, that whole sequence felt like a different movie. It felt like I was watching a different movie. I don't know if that was because of the way it was transitioned into that part where the Queen under the box scene. That felt like a different movie. That was just, it was shot differently, it was paced differently.
Because I think that might have been one of the first parts of the Zack Snyder remnants of the movie.
Right.
I think the movie up to that point was very Joss Whedon.
Yeah. And then from that point forward, there was still, and then I went straight back down into, oh my God, what am I watching? And like I said on Twitter, and like I've said before in the show, is like, I have not heard so many people boo in a movie theater before. And that could be twofold. One, it could be just an audience thing, and people spent $29 on a movie ticket and a large popcorn bundle deal, combo, fluffy ice cream time. Go on.
No, I would not have been happy to spend $30 on this movie. I spent $9 for 3 of us to see it.
There you go. I need to move to America for cheaper movie price.
I spent $9.99 a month to see it twice.
I think I spent $35 to watch it, but that was with a drink, food,
pizza. He had not just food, pizza, fried pickles. Yeah, proper action.
A proper meal. I'm talking about popcorn that had way too much salt and not enough butter on it. That's a whole nother podcast that I need to do. Called Dale
Ratios.
And Dale Review Movie Theaters.
Dale Reviews Movie Theaters.
No,
yeah, not the movies.
It's called too much salt, not enough butter.
That's a great name for a podcast that does that too. Like that's a real good
Dale Campbell in Too Much Salt.
Not enough.
Too much salt, not enough butter. You need to have the not enough butter in there.
Well, it's got to be in parentheses because because since the expression now, when somebody's upset about something, they're salty.
Which apparently
it does kind of sound like a porn, but
that sounds like a porn. Oh God. And I'm not discounting everyone's could have beens, and I'm hopeful for some of that stuff that they pick up for next time and kind of go, all right, here's how we can do it. By kicking Snyder off the team. That would be great. That's my biggest thing. Hiring an editing team or an editor would be helpful as well. And, a costume designer that knows how to put, more than just 2 strings of fabric on someone. And I think the only part that they have is, actors in a makeup crew and a camera. That's all they have at the moment. So there is that. There's my hot take on that.
And the actors are sometimes only so good. Like
I feel like
and attractive.
Yes.
All of the 7.5s and 7s and 8s are the wow, this was actually, not a steaming pile of garbage side of the reactions. And then the 5 is the but it could have been so much better side. And really, they go hand in hand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I still can't recommend this movie.
I still think a better scenario, better watching scenario may have been better for you.
I go on.
If we gave you some of that whiskey again and sat around and MST3K'd it, would you watch it again with us and just lampoon the whole thing?
I would be certainly up for a good time, which is what that sounds like. Whether it'll change my opinion or not is a whole nother story that
No, we definitely need to get him to watch Spider-Man Homecoming again because he's just wrong about that one.
With whiskey?
With whiskey.
With whiskey.
With sanity, apparently. I mean,
hey, hang on. I've got a phone call coming in. This is apparently this is about my review. Cool, you're on the air.
Because it's shounen bullshit.
Oh, thanks. Oh, and the caller got disconnected. Sorry. Bye, caller. I don't know who that
Hey,
was.
voicemail guy finally got through.
Yay, voicemail guy.
Yeah.
Come back, voicemail guy.
Voicemail guy.
So what's our average, CJ?
Our average is 7.08.
Yeah.
That's a positive side of meh review.
Yeah, absolutely. That is almost good, but still meh.
I couldn't give this movie higher than Man of Steel, and if you guys saw my notes last night,
I cannot disagree with you more on that one. Fuck my eye. No, I'm having trouble seeing.
Right, and it is a taste thing as well. It's just
yeah,
I don't know.
All right, you can see the show Thursdays 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, Friday at 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, geek-io.net/live. You can reach the show via email, geekioshow@gmail.com, Facebook, Twitter, all the things are Geek IO Show. You can get the show. You can give us a voicemail, 727-489-4335. That is 727-489-GEEK. You can support this stream and everything that we do on the Geek IO network by going over to patreon.com/geekio. Hey, Josh.
Hey, CJ.
What do we got going on next week?
Oh, we're going to do what we do best in Tampa Bay, and we're going to jack it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jeff brought up last week during Dale's trivia that we haven't jacked it in a while, so we're going to jack it next week.
We're going to jack it. It gives me the week off, too, so that's exciting.
I need somebody else to do the SmackDown stuff because I can't hardly see.
All right.
You're fine. Hang on. I might have... ladies and gentlemen, this is my least favorite bumper in the world, but I'm being forced to play it.
Now it's time for the Geek IO Winter Movie Smackdown Update.
Because it's shonen bullshit.
That was beautiful.
Do you want to do it, Dale, or you want me to do it?
No, Rao can do it, because, yeah.
All right.
BTS, I do the SmackDown summaries, so...
Oh, okay. Hopefully everyone had a happy and safe Thanksgiving. No one threw any hands. Family's still intact.
Throwing hands? What? That? I know I'm Australian, but you don't cut off hands and throw them, right?
Or throwing hams, either one, I mean.
Oh, hams. Oh, okay.
All right, so we had a mix-up with Justice League and Coco. Daddy's Home 2 became the best buy of the SmackDown so far. And we have a new leader. But it's the weekend we've all been waiting for. When Greg meets Tommy. Oh, hi, Mark. Opens and will make all the money.
All of it.
I doubt that, but I wish you the best.
I wish you the best.
And I also purchased a wild card. The Greatest Showman.
Can we get into how you purchased that wild card, by the way, Raul?
Okay, real quick. We were watching we were at the Alamo Draft House watching the trailers for Justice League. And we saw it was Hugh Jackman singing.
Oh. And all of us were like, this looks amazing. And Raul was like, this needs to happen. This is now my wild card. And I'm like, you better get on that right now.
Right? And no one competed.
2 minutes later, I had it. Let's see. Ending their runs this week is Justice League, which was bought by Jeff. Coco, Buttlong, entering their second week, nothing. Opening this week, The Disaster Artist, owned by me. Our current rankings are coming from the rear. Me at 6th place, CJ at 5th, Carrie at 4th, Jeff at
Third.
Sorry. Josh at 2nd, and Jared at 1st. Being his first week at number 1.
Almost
coming up.
Almost 2 months at number 1 is not fucking bad though.
It's because he front loaded all of his stuff, so now he has Black Panther. Like,
well, not only that.
Yeah, but I've got Black Panther.
Everything else shit the bed except for Josh's movies. So
yeah, everything in the beginning of the season just like didn't perform.
No, it did not.
All right, so coming up this week on the generic show.
Take two.
Take two. This week on the Geek IO Network. Generic Live Show breaks down the yes vote to equal marriage in Australia and what's next in the journey for same-sex couples down under.
What's necking?
On
the,
what's necking?
Next.
It's not what you said.
That's not what you said, but...
S4 finishes off Humans. Kept wondering what the hell is going on in Mr. Robot.
She was real good, but I still have no idea what the hell's happening in it.
And started seeing the Punisher could be fun? What?
If punishing people could be fun.
Yeah, I say you're reading.
And started seeing it
creative, bro. Jesus.
Be fun. All right.
This is what happens when I try to write creatively.
And over in the Mana Pool, we find a new friend in the forest. And we also get asked to find a new friend for this new friend. And we also
because we're friendly.
Yeah, and we also have a conversation with a mute man, and we also run through the woods.
It's the side quest episode.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Everybody needs a side quest episode, though.
And Remy is amazing.
Yes,
and we love him.
Remy.
Yeah. Alrighty.
On the season 1 break of Josh's campaign here, so we're getting ready to wind that up for some, mainly because school winding up for people in school.
Yeah, we got some stuff coming up. It's just it might be a real bore.
So we have some show titles.
Yeah, show titles. Speaking of bottom twist.
So we have Fuck Off Siri, Shounen Bullshit, we watch Black Clover and hate ourselves, the Portuguese dub, it's a thing, Deconstructed Dale, Biff Upper Lip, Half of His Face Was Still Dead, I guess we can be a lady couple, the Pawvengers, Here We Go Mario, torn between being a Joss Whedon film and garbage, Directing Through a Man's Eyes, Shown in Bullshit, Fighting in a Body Condom, Let's Murder Him and He'll Come Back with Personality. Oh, he's talking to the box. Springtime for Luther, Nifty Wall Things, Bing, Joss Whedon, Exposition Burglar, Everyone Turns Into an Asshole, Dawn of Justice, Gratuitous Jason Momoa, and Hot Steaming Take.
All right.
I've got my couple.
All right, I kind of like that Springtime for Luther. Well, let's go Mario. Yeah, here we go Mario. I believe that's what I think.
So assume Here We Go Mario has a +1 on it. And anybody who's in the chat can tune in, can go over to right there at geekioshow.geekshowbot.tv, and you can vote too. I love the fact that, by the way, I love you so much, follower of bad content.
Bad content is thank you, follower of bad content.
You know what?
Cute.
I don't care. You're amazing. That is a great. In fact, username checks out.
Can that be the show title?
And this is me, the host of this show and the owner of this network, saying that. It looks like stiff upper lip is
taking it. Is
Thanks
taking
to
it.
Jess for that.
Yeah.
Oh, Jet, that was okay.
Yep. So yep, stiff upper lip is the title.
What if we go stiff upper lip? Here we go, Mario.
No.
Not everything can have a subtitle.
Yeah.
We did like 3 weeks of that, didn't we?
Yeah, well, we used to do that all the time. Like, we used to think of the top 2 candidates that we wanted to do, and I was
on this shirt. That's not going.
Yeah, I was like looking at like when we started doing this, I'm like, oh, because we did like the Rocky and Bullwinkle thing, where it's like the show title candidate or this. And I was looking at that, like, man, we have come not a long way in 5 years.
I like the fact, the first show I was ever on had like 4 show titles in the one.
It really did.
Stiff upper lip.
All right, guys, we will see you next week. Where we're going to be jacking it on TV. Talk to you later.
Yay. I can't wait.
Bye.
What, do you not like Jackbox, Josh?
No, I'm keeping a stiff upper lip.
Oh.
Oh! You're keeping a stiff upper lip. Can we make that the show title?
Sure, keeping a stiff upper lip.
Keeping. What was it? Keeping
a stiff upper lip.
We're doing the acoustic version.
This has been a Geek
The
IO
acapella version.
production. Copyright
That's
2017.
But then again, I hate it, so, you know.
I'm confused.
We're talking over the outro, Dale. It's a thing.
CJ's not dancing.
They're chugging his drink.
Take a drink, talking over the outro.
There, I danced. No, I didn't do a lot of dancing because my head is killing me.
All
Because
right.
it's stoning bullshit.
All right, well, thank you, Twitch. Thank you for the follow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you Sunday, right?
Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday. GLS will be here.
Oh yeah, Sunday morning for GLS. And seeing how things go, I might play more Super Mario RPG.
There you go.
Depending on if work doesn't shit on me, we might be able to go and do some actual like together streaming.
All right, let me get.
Here we go, Mario.